Recently on the channel, we've been looking at a lot of Halloween ephemera, like Hallmark decorations, vintage postcards, fast food promotions, all things that were produced at specific times to be enjoyed in those times, with no real intent to exist outside of them. While these were not made to be immediately forgotten, I doubt the creators imagined people would still be consuming or enjoying them in the 2020s, but they do. These things are remembered, people keep them alive, just like we are going to be doing today. I love this stuff, so we are going to be bouncing around time, looking at several other examples of Halloween-themed media, magazine covers, television commercials, print ads, things meant to exist for a short while that should give a pretty good snapshot into the evolution of Halloween and what the holiday was like during these time periods. I am your host, Boo Ryan, and some plugs off the top. Patreon, we have a new video up there chronicling our experience at this year's PRGE, the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. Dozens of other videos, my book, The Nostalgia Economy. $5 gets you access to all this, patreon.com/pixandportraits. You can also become a member here on YouTube or give a super thanks. Everything helps. So, if you like what we do and want to help make it happen, please consider supporting us. People, or their memories, form bonds with objects, things. This could be for sentimental reasons. They grew up with them, they remind them of someone, something, a period in their life, association, nostalgia, also novelty. They find it interesting or just appreciate its design, aesthetic, how it makes them feel. We have an entire video on this, I will link above, but people use things to represent their memories. Holidays, or memories made on holidays, are generally stronger, or at least easier to remember, than say some random Tuesday in March. It's easier to place them because of the importance or attention that we put on the holiday. You can put a date to them, decorations go up. They are often tied to seasons, weather changes, traditions, thinking of Halloween, dressing up in costumes, which are a great barometer of what was popular at the time. Looking back, early photographs of Halloween costumes are absolute nightmare fuel. Some of this is because they're supposed to be. Halloween is supposed to be scary, but these feelings are accentuated by the, for lack of a better term, uncanny valley of time. Most of us are so far removed from these periods that while we may recognize or identify with some aspects of these people's lives, much of their experience is completely lost on us. The associations we have with old photographs, the past, they wouldn't see. They'd probably be too in awe that a photograph exists to feel the creepiness that we do. Moving forward in time, depending on your age, things should start looking a little more familiar, or at least a little less foreign. A majority of costumes used to be homemade, based off of generic things like witches and ghosts, but as manufacturing progressed, materials changed, mass production was quicker, easier, and characters from pop culture, like superheroes, replaced more traditional costumes. I love going back and watching news reports talking about the hottest or most popular costumes for specific years. This 1983 one talks about punks and monks. Elf and the California Raisins show up in 1987. In 1990, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were everywhere. There are a bunch of different designs. One news report is a fascinating look into bootleg costumes, with a store proprietor refusing to call them Ninja Turtles because he didn't have the rights, so it's just a turtle and a bandana. Bart Simpson makes an appearance at the height of Bartmania. 4 years later, we see Barney, Beavis and Butthead. I tracked down this great news report about spooky websites from 1997. Flash animation, real video, seeing these old games, I love it. This was around the time I was first online, and I have a ton of nostalgia for these sorts of websites. People love Halloween. I love Halloween. You can enjoy it differently as both a child or adult. It doesn't have the same sentimental hang-ups as other holidays like Christmas. We mentioned this in the Hallmark video, but Halloween was something of a craze in the early 20th century. We covered the adjacent trend of greeting cards there. Many of the traditions and aesthetics we still associate with the holiday were established years and years earlier, but this is when the modern Halloween took shape. I'd like to take a little bit of time now and look at some magazine covers and print ads. The Saturday Evening Post had plenty of different illustrations celebrating Halloween, dating all the way back to the period we were just talking about, the early 1900s. These are all done by different artists, ranging from warm, nostalgic, like this Norman Rockwell, to pretty terrifying. Child Life was another magazine with some stellar covers, all embodying the spirit of Halloween. I know some of you love the space age, and I found a few pieces from that time, all pretty similar with rockets and witches. This one for the 1953 Anaheim Halloween Festival is great. A couple for Collegeville costumes, catalogs. I am so grateful that people have scanned old catalogs. This one here focuses on their licensed costumes, so you get Looney Tunes, Popeye, Woody Woodpecker, Saturday Morning. 1992, jumping to Collegeville's 1992 catalog, TMNT still going strong. This Kmart insert here is from the mid-80s, featuring Transformers and He-Man. I love these. The New Yorker has a great history of covers, iconic. Their Halloween output is wild, like this illustration of Hitler as a Witch from 1942 by Ray Irvin. I love this Charles Adams cover from 1963, same with this Charles Burns from 30 years later, but my absolute favorite has to be this Pokemon one from 1999. Peak Pokemania, peak childhood for me, Pikachu taking off with a sack of cash. This has been a personal grail of mine for years now. I can't pull the trigger on it. They go for upwards of $250 online because I'm not alone. Vintage or retro Halloween is very trendy. It's collectible. Scrolling eBay here, people want classic decorations or ephemera from their childhood. I have some, like this issue of TV Guide featuring The Simpsons Trios of Horror from 1998. I went looking for more, but for whatever reason, TV Guide didn't have any covers dedicated to Halloween, which I think is wild considering how ingrained TV and specials are in the holiday. For many years, The Great Pumpkin was a television institution. Tons of shows have episodes that take place on Halloween. I tried going back and finding older Halloween TV content, but it's hard because a lot of early television just doesn't exist. It was broadcast once and wasn't filmed with a kinescope, or later the tape was recorded over to save money to make room for something new. However, once VCRs became common, it was easier to record things, and a lot has been saved. Retro commercials are extremely popular on this platform. There are hundreds of hours of compilations featuring nostalgic ads and products. Personally, I love seeing old promos and bumpers when networks created original graphics to promote their programming. Years ago, we had an entire video on this actually, on how 90s cartoons celebrated Halloween, where we looked at this more in depth, but this is Halloween to me. Now, so far, we've looked at many different things from different time periods, but I'd like to wrap things up by looking at why Halloween is so nostalgic. An easy answer, the memories made. The traditions, going trick-or-treating, carving pumpkins, watching scary movies. You get to dress up, get candy, it's fun. As an adult, socializing with friends, dressing up, getting candy, reconnecting with yourself, your childhood. I've had a blast this year, but that is going to do it for our Halloween output. Check out our other videos we made on Halloween, the fast food and Hallmark history of the holiday. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share, and if you have the means, please consider supporting us. YouTube membership, super thanks, tons of spooky stuff over on Patreon that you can get access to for as little as $5 a month and help keep all this going. Patreon.com/PixelPortraits. As always, thank you so much for your interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. Happy Halloween, everybody.